All right, it's our last keywords and concepts video. I'm getting all misty-eyed. It's crazy. All right, let's get through it. So first one, outsourcing, a word most of us are probably fairly familiar with. This is the idea of contracting a job or a set of jobs to an outside source. We see this a lot, right? A lot of American companies have outsourced their jobs to cheaper places where it's cheaper to operate. India, China, Indonesia, the Philippines, wherever they can get a cheaper rate, right? So fairly common. Again, ties into polarization. Polarization means that a gap has developed in the job market. America is actually experiencing this right now, with most employment opportunities either at the very lowest level or the very highest level. Right, very few jobs in the middle, so it's kind of squeezing out the middle class. You're seeing this in a lot of developed countries all over the world, where we are starting to get this polarization as the middle class jobs are being outsourced. As a result of such, you have underemployment. Underemployment is a state in which a person accepts a lower paying, lower status job than their education and experience qualifies them to perform. So lots of examples of this, and a lot of you are probably currently underemployed or know people who are. I've been underemployed. I was answering phones for a call center with a master's degree. So that's an example of underemployment, right? When you work in the fries at McDonald's and you have a bachelor's degree, underemployment. Also tying into why is it expensive to be poor? This is something you need to understand for this unit, that it is expensive to be poor. It's in a very practical sense, people with more money on hand, with better credit, a more stable income, and reliable insurance can buy things in different ways than people who lack these things, right? So it's really easy for somebody who has money and a car and a bunch of other things to say meal prep and go and plan and buy in bulk because they can store that food. They have a place to store that food. They have a card that they can go get that food. And then they can save money on their food because they're able to buy in bulk, but not everybody can do that. You actually need a certain amount of money to be able to do things that save you money, right? So in order to buy a car so that you're no longer using, Uber or Subway or whatever it is, that costs a lot, right? You have to have good credit. You have to be able to put a down payment down. So it's expensive to be poor. These are kind of the ideas. Way more examples than that if you require them. If you've ever had your power turned off, you know how expensive that is to get it turned back on. Just to get your power turned back on, not to catch up on the bill, just to turn it back on. So there's lots of little things like that that really do make it expensive to be poor. You'll often see jokes about poor people being bad with money, and it's not necessarily that poor people are bad with money. It's just really hard to do a lot of these things if you don't already have some degree of wealth on which to do them. Well, congratulations, guys. You just made it through your very last keywords and concepts video. Give yourself a round of applause. You should be proud.